Hey everybody! Welcome to the TalkBack. I'm Killian.
Riley.
Vikki.
Jazmine, and I play... Who do I play?
Ella.
I play Ella.
I played Mrs. Kruger.
And I was Jay.
And I directed this hot garbage.
I wouldn't call it that.
It wasn't hot garbage. But no, I directed it. One of the things about doing this particular radio play was finding it. It took me at least a month of searching through radio plays to find the right one. Mm-hmm. There was one that I almost did, which I'll be sending to Riley, because Riley asked. That was about a group of lighthouse workers who go insane, and there's this whole thing, and that was the one that I wanted to do originally.
Is that based off a true story, or that famous story of those two people who went crazy?
There's 4 of them, so I'm assuming no, but it might be inspired by that. I think anything that happens in a lighthouse where people go crazy is probably taking something from that. Or the Edgar Allan Poe story about the 2 lighthouse keepers that go crazy. As anybody who's familiar with Human Pincushion knows, most of Human Pincushion are women. And all of the characters were not only male, but written to be intrinsically male. It was written in how everything they did worked, and I was rewriting all of these as women is going to be a nightmare. And I thought about it for over a week, and I was just no, not happening. So then I looked again, and I found this one, which was originally titled, it was either originally titled The Stepmother, or not Stepmother, The Mother-in-Law, and then was retitled Knock in the Door the second time it was done, or it was originally Knock at the Door and then retitled Mother-in-Law. But I think it was the first one. It was originally Mother-in-Law, and now it's Knock at the Door, which is a better title. Mm-hmm. And it was super easy to read. I read it and I was oh, this is very Telltale Heart, very Edgar Allan Poe, great storytelling, and it was originally Jay was a man, just a big dumb man.
Mm-hmm. I really liked how that change kind of affected not only the whole tone of the piece, but
same, yeah.
Well, I guess not only my character, but the whole tone of the piece, because instead of just an overprotective mother who's obsessed with her son just getting mad that her son brought home a woman, now it's a slightly homophobic mother who's upset that her daughter brought home a lesbian wife. So that was really cool for all of us, just to see how one simple thing would change the whole shift. And I kind of love Jay. She's just so unaware of what's happening all the time. I mean, not all the time, but she's slow and amazing and just happy all the time. She's so in love with equally her mom and wife.
I imagine Jay as if a golden retriever was a human. Then that might be Jay.
Yeah, kinda.
Just oh, my mom is the best person ever. You're gonna love her.
What about me? Oh, you're also the best person ever.
I married you, duh.
This is gonna probably sound really mean, but I based her off of a character, a real person, because I loved the show 90 Day Fiancé. And so I based her off of a woman who was in the season I was watching when we were rehearsing this, who was just so stupidly in love and completely blind and could not see that her husband was a piece of shit. Yeah, and just the whole time was he definitely still loves me, and it was no, he doesn't. So she's where I got a lot of my inspiration for poor Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you? How was playing Ella?
It was fun. She's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's
she is.
Yeah.
my favorite kind of character.
Do you feel typecast at all?
Whatever.
What an answer.
And I mean, I wanted to do it with a southern accent at first. And even when I read the script, I hear it in a southern accent.
Yeah.
But the director didn't let me do it. And that's okay.
All right.
And also it was really vocally, my body and everything, tired, because I kind of used my whole body to play this character. But it was fun.
So a little behind the scenes look, when Jazmine was recording, especially the final like marathon of a monologue,
Oh God.
just like there were several times during it, like it was several's a bit much, like at least twice during it, where Jazmine had to like stop and was like, "Whew, all right," and then just like jumps back in. It was really funny.
And you just laughed at me. At
Yeah.
all the work I was doing.
It was just because it was amusing to like watch somebody like hop off of a monologue like mid monologue, and like they were like they had just finished a mile and they were about to go do another mile, and they're just like, "All right, okay." It was just really amusing to watch that. But the work was good. Yeah. So there was that. The final monologue is a beast. It's like a page and a half, 2 pages of
They kind of all are, you know.
yeah.
It's really just the Ella show.
Yeah.
Not Ellen. Ella.
No Ellen. Ellen is done.
Yeah.
So I based this character off of Ellen. No.
That's why she was abusive. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Don't sue us, Ellen.
You know what, Ellen? Bring it on.
No.
She's not gonna listen to this.
Yeah, but
I could.
So if we don't do any more episodes, that means we got a cease and desist from Ellen.
Yeah, it could be any Ellen.
Yeah.
any one of you.
Any
Yeah.
Ellen. But you know who we're talking about. Does anybody have any related stories?
Anyone kill someone in a basement and leave her there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody throw somebody in a well? Is this another one where it's everybody slowly admits to
Murder.
crimes?
I'm not allowed to speak on that, so.
Alright, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, my court date's coming up. I probably shouldn't say
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
think
I don't
I-
violate my parole.
yeah. I think I already shared, maybe like an episode or two ago, about my cousins who gang murdered another cousin.
You did not.
No, you
Oh,
definitely
I
did not
didn't.
say anything about that.
Oh shit. Yeah, so my
Go
cousin.
on.
Christ.
So yeah, what happened was, and I'll make it like quick. A bunch of
No,
my...
you tell the story how it needs to be told.
We're only 10 minutes in. Please tell.
Alrighty then. So this was like in the 40s or like early 50s, and a bunch of my cousins owned like a railroad company with another cousin. But they all got along with each other, except one was like a piece of shit. And he wasn't like actually a cousin. He was like a cousin-in-law. Abused the wife, total piece of shit, was the worst. And what happened was, it was also like 40s, 50s, they're all Italian Catholics, so like divorce is not a thing. Especially
Hey, yo,
back
let's
then.
take this to the streets.
Yeah, pretty much. And so what happened was, they were like, you know what? We don't like this cousin. We don't want to work with him anymore. And instead of being like, oh, let's just fire him, instead they went to, let's just fucking murder him.
Valid.
Valid, but here's the thing. Nobody ever officially got charged with, and even now, like, the murder didn't happen. It was a railroad accident. But the dude was found with, like, totally fine, with, like, his head cut off. So...
The fuck?
Trains
The
do
fuck?
that sometimes.
But here's the crazy thing. It's like...
Nature's scary.
Yeah. But it's like, here's the thing. It's not... Like, officially, they never murdered this guy. It was just a railroad freak accident. And what's crazy is, I think, they were all old at this point, so they're all kind of dead. There was one cousin left, and he did pass away a few years ago. That was kind of part of that. But the crazy thing was, like, he pretty much murdered another family member in cold blood. But now, now the last time I talked to him, he was a grandpa, like, he was really well loved in the family. Like, he's really a great guy. But it's this weird sort of thing of, like, you kind of murdered your cousin. Like,
You know.
you know?
But as long as you're a
Casual.
nice guy,
Yeah.
it's fine.
And it's, like I said, it was this open secret in our family. And at the last family reunion, I'm also Italian, so I have a shit ton of cousins everywhere. Another cousin asked this guy, like, what's the story there? And my cousin was like, oh, don't worry about it. So, officially, nobody was murdered. But
Vikki's family was also the mafia for a little bit, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a runner.
As soon as you said Italian, I was like, oh, okay, mob hit, gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean,
No longer surprised.
let's be honest. If your family hasn't occasionally done wet work, are you really Italian?
True.
Says the person who is not Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vikki's family has that.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there's no murder in my family. And my great uncle went to jail, but that was because he was embezzling from Jersey City. Not murdering people.
I mean, why not both?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he got caught for embezzling.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Al Capone went to jail for tax fraud.
Yeah, that's...
He did not go to jail for the Valentine's Day
Yeah.
massacre.
I'm now much more suspicious of Uncle Tom, but he's very dead. So,
Well, if he shows
pour
up,
one out for Uncle Tom.
then you have every right to be suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I don't know, like, does anybody have any, like, spooky basement stories? Because I guess that works. Like,
Oh!
spooky basements.
yes.
Alright, Riley, take it away.
So, my sister and I are exactly 10 years apart in age, but we are the same person. It's literally as if we were twins. We frequently will surprise each other by thinking the same thing at the same time. And in this same vein, we have also had similar nightmares or like haunted experiences in our childhood home, because our childhood home is haunted as fuck. The on the basement door, there's an upside down horseshoe that's been there, like, I think since my parents bought the house in the 80s. So, cursed from the beginning. But my sister and I have both had dreams, on separate occasions, both had nightmares about our basement and, like, ghosts being in there, which is very uncomfortable. Every dog we've ever had has refused to go into the basement. Cats didn't give a shit, because cats don't give a shit. But yeah, every dog will just, like, stand at the top of the steps and just, like, watch you go down and just, like, stand there and whine until you come back. Cannot get them into the basement for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our basement's really creepy.
All cats have the energy of, like, they'd see a demon in a house and be like, this is my house too.
Yeah. One of my favorite comics is this little 4-panel thing, and it's a cat staring at a wall, and the owner is like, oh, like, what are you staring at, buddy? Is it a bug? And then you just see the cat is staring at, like, these horrible, gruesome creatures in the corner, but, like, it's just empty to the human.
Yep.
Is it a bug?
And the cat's like, I have seen things.
Its eyes get slightly wider.
Oh my god. So my mother has some. So I have a haunted basement story, or like a creepy haunted house story, and my mother has several. Because my aunt, who is now no longer part of the family, Trump supporter.
Oh.
So we
I'm from
got
Florida.
rid of her. Yeah.
I get it.
Happy Inauguration Day, y'all.
Now it's
To
relevant.
Biden. This is not from 2016.
So my aunt, her father died when they were in grade school. He died of cancer, But, like, don't feel sad because he was the worst human being on the face of the earth. So, like, you know, sometimes karma works out that way. But they were remodeling the upstairs of their house, and so everybody lived in the basement for a while. And they knew he died before they got the phone call because he was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt and her brothers were at home, and they heard the sound of her dad's work boots tumbling down the stairs, because I guess he would come home and he would kick his work boots off and kick them down the stairs. And so they knew that sound. And they were at home, and they were all in the same room, and they heard the sounds of his work boots tumbling down the stairs, and then the whole basement got cold.
Ugh.
And they were like, oh. And then the phone rang, and they answered it, and it was their mom being like he just passed away. And ever since then, the basement was like crazy super haunted. And it like to the point where like doors would like open and slam, and like the walls would shake, and like things would move. Like it was just like it was a bad time. And my mom stayed over at one point, and my aunt's room was in the basement. And she was asleep, and she woke up to the walls literally quaking, and the door to my aunt's room opening, hitting the wall, slamming shut, and then like the door handle turning and then swinging open again. And my aunt's mother was on the other side of like in the middle of the basement, just like staring at it in horror.
Ay.
And like my aunt just slept through it. She was like, whatever.
I'm so glad that like my family's, you know, house hauntings have been just, you know, presences or feelings or freaky dreams that we've all had. Nothing like no doors have ever opened. Although my sister and I do have a lot of dreams of doors opening in the house, but like nothing physically in real life has opened or shut. I'm really glad about that.
Yeah. And the other story, which is not a story, it's just like a moment that happened. I was like in the basement. We grew up, like my childhood home, we moved out. Or like when I came to college and then I went back to visit, my family had moved out into a different house, and the other house was like, no one was there. We still had the keys there because it hadn't been taken yet. So I was over and we organized like a whole party there. It was really fun. But at one point I was there by myself, and I was planning on just like staying the night that night, and I knew that there was nobody else in the house because it was locked when I got there, and I locked the door behind me, and I'm in the basement, and upstairs, like in like the second floor, I hear footsteps across the floor upstairs. And I just like, I was sitting downstairs in the basement, and all of the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I was like, I have to leave immediately.
Yeah.
And I like went up the stairs, and like the stairs from the second floor to the main floor come down into the living room, and the front doors past the living room. I did not go through the living room. I went out the back door and around the side of the house. I was just like, nope.
Horrible. Yeah.
I was like, you can't catch me dead in that room. So yeah, those are my haunted basement stories. Jazmine, do you have a haunted basement story?
I don't. I do not. But I do want to say, like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and frickin' Facebook, and make sure you check out our short scream series. We got more coming out. The next big film coming out is Raven, written by me, being filmed later this month. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening.
We also have a Patreon if you like our content and want to donate money for us to continue making more better content. And if you want some exclusive content from us,
It's there.
it's all on Patreon.
Oh yeah.
So
There's some really fun, dirty, interesting stuff in there. So make sure you check out our Patreon. All right, you're not gonna regret it.
The link
Wink,
to our
wink.
OnlyFans is in there.
So yeah, support.
all links are in the description.
Yeah.
Yep. Except for the link to our OnlyFans, which you can only get by subscribing to our $15 a month tier on Patreon for 3 months at a time.
Don't say that because then we gotta make an OnlyFans.
Yeah, and it'll be an OnlyFans, and it'll just be a bunch of fans.
I'm surprised someone hasn't done that.
Somebody's
yet.
done that.
Subscribe.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
I
Thank
guess
you
we're
guys for listening.
done. Bye.